Good morning and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on The Good Life Friday and we're here to open your mind. We are definitely living the good life this morning on this Friday morning. I'm really excited to be in the studio today. I have my big brother with me. I am so excited. I am feeling it this morning in the studio. We have Bishop-elect R.C. Blakes, but this gentleman has really touched my life, and I want to tell you here because y'all know I talk about all my stuff on here. So, I've been searching for a church for honestly like 2 years. Actually, kind of since Katrina.
Wow.
Honestly, since Katrina. And I kind of been, I don't want to say I'd go to churches for, a couple years, but I was just like, I wasn't feeling it. So I'm just give you the short version because you're here and I've never been able to tell you.
We've never had this conversation.
I know. So look, I get to tell you. So, long story short, I've just, I was like, didn't feel right. So one of my life coach who calls in on Wednesdays, Bobby Clark Alexander, she was like, Eileen, I think you should reach out to R.C. Blakes.
Wow.
And she's all the way from Atlanta. She had no clue that I even knew you. And I was like, are you serious? And I started laughing. She's like, what's so funny?
Have I met her? Have I ever met her?
I don't know, but you should. She actually used to work with Bishop Morton.
Really?
Before she moved to Atlanta. Yes.
Wow.
She's like, you should reach out to him. I was like, he's like my brother. My dad was really good friends
with father.
Prophet Blakes. Yes, your
Very
dad. Yes, I grew up in the church. After we leave St. Monica's, we come by your church.
Very good friend.
And so long story short, I joined the church. I was going to get baptized, and my son is 12. You know that. And so I wanted to let it be his decision, but the day I was going to get baptized, he said, Mom, can I do it with you?
Wow.
I almost fell out. So I was like, yes. So we did it together. And we're now a part of the church. And I kind of alluded this to you, but of course my son is 12. What 12-year-olds really love going to church, right? So, ever since we generally go to a 10 o'clock, 10:30 mass, I'd have to drag him out of the bed, 8 and it's 9 o'clock, get up, eat something, we'll go to, we'll do this, that, and the other. Your mass is at 7:30 in the morning.
7:30 in the morning.
I wake him up. I go get dressed, and he's, like, ready to go. My son enjoys going to your mass.
12 years old.
12 years old. I have absolutely never seen it. I don't know what you've done to him, but thank you very much. He loves your church. And here's one up. You have a manhood academy that we're going to talk about today because y'all think we're talking about what you think we're talking about. We're talking about relationships today.
That's right.
Because we need this message. And my son used his own money because he wanted the Manhood Academy T-shirt.
Wow. Are you serious?
I'm not kidding. So I was really impressed with my 12 years old. And he was like, no, I got this, Mom.
That's amazing.
I was like, okay. So I just want to thank you for everything that you do because sometimes we need to let our leaders know that they really are touching us. And you're not just touching us, you're touching our children. And as a single mother, I truly appreciate everything you do. Not just here in New Orleans, but, everywhere. So thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing this. Growing up as a pastor's kid, is that my phone? Whose phone is ringing?
It's okay. It's everybody letting know that they're joining the conversation.
Growing up as a pastor's kid, I developed somewhat of a disdain, I think, for religion, for organized religion in the classical sense, for the ritualism, for the traditionalism, for, in my opinion, the hypocrisy. So when God actually called me into ministry, and it was a calling because I did not want to do this.
I remember you said that.
I promise
before.
you. I did not want to do ministry. And so God calls me into ministry. I had too many personal struggles, in terms of the normal things that a young male will go through. And I'm called to preach this Bible, and my life is not lining up with it. So that was a challenge for me. Well, long story short, God, kind of brings me through this process and grows me up kind of overnight and develops me to a place where my character is somewhat matching the message. And then God changes my whole perspective on how ministry is to be done. And seminarians, religious people don't necessarily always agree with me, but I think ministry has to be relevant for the times that we're living in. So with me, when you hear me doing the father-daughter talk, or you hear me doing the manhood
That's
academy,
real talk, too.
that's ministry.
That is real talk.
That's ministry. And my aim is to be relevant. And to hear that a 12-year-old kid is, that blesses me.
Absolutely. I was listening to this morning, and I really kind of want to get into the manhood talk. And I don't know if this is part of it, so I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Let's roll.
But it was what women want in a man. And you were like dropping bombs every time you said something. And I was like, yeah. But I don't think men really know. They were like, oh, women are so confusing.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not really that confusing. And men aren't really that confusing. We just don't listen to one another.
Well,
or do we?
Well,
what do you think?
In my opinion, I think that we've been socialized to deceive. And I think that in a lot of instances, men approach relationships from an entire different objective than women do. Women approach relationships generally thinking that this could possibly be him for life, whereas most men are socialized from the upbringing of the home to media, even the church, sadly, religious churches, to approach relationships from the perspective of how can I, conquer, for lack of a better term. So I think men are socialized, for instance, in the home. I never had sisters, but I had female cousins. The same uncles that would tell my female cousins, keep your dress down and be a chaste little girl, would then come into the yard and would teach us how to manipulate other people's daughters. And so I think men generally are not really listening to women because we don't necessarily really want to understand women because we don't have a long-term goal in mind until we grow up. And look, I've had to go through these, this situation myself, having, been divorced, dating with a child, and now dating again. And it's just like you said, it's been very interesting. And just like I've probably been looking for all the wrong things. And I now look for a man that has a relationship with God first. If you don't have that relationship, I can't even talk to you. Like, it doesn't even work. I tried it the other way. I said, God, I'm going to wait and do it your way. And it's a totally different situation. Totally.
But how many of us don't wait?
Well, we're in a rush, and one of my biggest challenges with women in general, those that are part of my church, those that connect with me across the nation, is to get women to understand that it's really cool to be single and to really work on your goals and to work on yourself. In many instances, you have this insatiable desire for a relationship because you feel incomplete in yourself. And it's really a signal that this is a season for you to be alone. This is a season for you to add to your character, really develop your own rhythm, get a real understanding of who you are, because a lot of times you're choosing men when your own personal identity is not fully intact. And how can you choose a life mate if you don't really know who you are already? Singleness is a wonderful gift. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift that many single people squander, worrying and just obsessing over when is he coming or when is she coming. And the reality is that, you have too much life to live. And the person that is really made for you, God will send.
I know you've said time and again that there's a difference between being lonely and alone.
Absolutely.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is that a person, I've been married now for 20 years. She and I, Lisa and I have been married for 20 years.
And she's gorgeous.
I think so.
God blessed you.
I think so. And we spend a lot of time apart, but we're never lonely in the sense that, if I'm by myself, I feel depressed, I feel like I have to find something to do. I need somebody to be in my space. You know, and so many people that are listening to this right now, that's their mindset because they don't have an official person in their space. They feel like their world is dissipating. They feel like everything is falling apart. The reality is that if you're going to be a fully productive, effective, and successful individual, you're going to have to learn to appreciate being by yourself. Self-growth, self-development happens in alone times. You know, I really dig deepest when I am by myself. And though I'm married, I'm by myself a lot because that's the way our lives are situated in this season. I mean, there are some months that I may spend a week with my wife, and she's good, I'm good, because we understand who we are as individuals. So when we're apart, it's not like, what do I do, what do I do? I have much to do. That's why every individual needs to find his or her own purpose in life, find your own rhythm, and then when God brings the two together, you know, it becomes a true power couple. And when you are by yourselves, you have so much of your individual aspirations, goals, and purposes to fulfill that you're never sitting around like, I'm by myself, I don't know what to do, I'm depressed, I'm going to eat myself to death, I'm going to eat a gallon of Bluebell, and all this kind of craziness.
Why are you singing my story?
I'm just trying
that's
to
my
say,
old story. That's not my
I'm just
story.
trying to say, you know, it's craziness to me. When I am by myself and I travel a lot, and I am by myself for weeks at a time, you know, I'm never challenged with depression. I have too much to do. And that's my message. Every individual, rather than sitting around obsessing over when is he or she coming, really bury yourself in your purpose, and then the right person who fits your life will connect with you, and the two of you will move forward in a healthy fashion. Because I don't think a relationship can be healthy if I am needy every moment of your presence.
Do you really want to be around somebody all the time? No, just playing.
No.
But like when you're doing that, the hardest thing for people to do is to self-reflect. And that seems to be so important when you're in that season. And that's why I think that we run to a relationship, because then we don't have to do it anymore.
That's exactly right.
So how do we get through that season? Because that's one of the most difficult things to do, is to accept that I'm not doing something correctly, or it's my fault, or the reason why I'm not meeting somebody is because of me. Like, who wants to digest that? I haven't met anybody who wants to digest it, but I found that once you do, it becomes so much easier. But how would you encourage someone that needs to go through that process to self-reflect?
Well, I had a conversation with a dear heart just last night.
Really?
Yeah, she's a very young girl, early 20s, and she has a young man. I don't know him, so I'm just kind of recapping what she said. She has a young man that's really kind of pulling her life down. She's, you know, draining her of her energy, her finances, and everything else, and just not adding anything to her. But yet she wants him. She doesn't want him, but she wants him. She hates what he's doing to her, but she doesn't know how to let go. I think we fail to accept the fact that many times we use relationships like drugs to kind of anesthetize, if that's the right way to say that. My tongue gets tied up. To kind of numb us to the fact that there are parts of our personal makeup that are absent and need to be addressed, and there are parts of us where we need to grow up, where we need to become efficient. So we get people to plug those holes for us, and we just kind of glide through life unhealthy but not feeling it because the person numbs that part of our reality or our truth. The greatest thing that can happen for any person, the Bible says, and I'm not here to preach, but the Bible says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. When you really see yourself. Okay, can I use myself for an example? May I?
Of course.
When I was a young man, I was called to preach and all of these kinds of things, but I had this real serious struggle with womanizing. So I'm preaching, but I'm still I still got multiple women. So I'm feeling like a hypocrite, which is the reason I never wanted to preach, because I never felt like I could live a life that would be exemplary. So God calls me to preach. I could not resist it, but I still have these struggles. That thing broke off of my life when God, it was a spiritual encounter for me. When God brought me face to face with who I was then, where I was then in life, my station in life. But then he began to show me where I could go if my character could support it. So now this is the first time in my, 20-some years of living that I have to really do some introspection and self-reflection. And when I really stopped to look at my life and who I was and where I was, I did not like what I saw. And it was about a 3-day encounter with God where I just kind of locked in, nothing spooky. Locked in, prayed, God showed me myself. I really looked at myself for exactly what I was, where I was, why I was there, the way I was thinking, how my thinking was impacting my character, my behavior. And when I came out of that experience of just becoming naked before my own truth, or naked in my own truth, it changed my life. And it turned me into the man that I am today. I know it's hard to see yourself for exactly who you are, where you are. But the reality is this. I know we probably, Tell me when I need to stop talking.
No, because we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, you're going to find out exactly what that reality was. Yeah, I like cliffhangers. That's what it is. It's the good life, y'all. It's the good life Friday. We're opening your mind to living differently in the world. We have Pastor R.C. Blakes in the house this morning. He is opening my mind, so I know he's opening yours. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Catch the Samantha Bollier Show Fridays from 3 to 4 p.m. It's the show where we talk entertainment, music, life, culture. That's the Samantha Bollier Show Fridays from 3 to 4 on WBOK 1230 AM. Real entertainment talk for real times.
Hi, this is Norman Robinson. New Orleans East Hospital is open and providing quality health care in your neighborhood. The New Orleans East Hospital is bringing our finest physicians into a beautiful new facility where you receive compassionate caring service. Emergency room services at New Orleans East Hospital are some of the best in the region. To learn more, visit our website at noehospital.org. Your health matters to us at New Orleans East Hospital.
L&R Security keeps our family, friends, and event goers safe. And to do that job, they are looking for you. L&R Security Services is now hiring persons for the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, armed and unarmed guards. All interested persons should contact L&R Security Office at 504-943-3191. Fill out an application at L&R's office at 3930 Old Gentilly Road. That's New Orleans, Louisiana. To become one of the proud workers of L&R Security, the minimum requirements are 18 years of age, a completed work application, and criminal background check, 2 forms of ID, whether it be a driver's license, a state ID, military ID, social security card, or other forms of picture ID. L&R Security is looking for qualified employees to assist in keeping the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival safe. They are looking for you. Again, contact them at 504-943-3191. 504-943-3191. L&R is always looking for armed and unarmed guards. If this is your profession, they're looking for you.
Hey, it's Chuck Perkins of the Conscious Hour on WBOK 1230 AM, here to tell you about mobile banking at Liberty Bank and Trust Company. You're always on the move, and they're here to keep up and give you the power to manage your own money from the palm of your hand. If you need to check balances, transfer money, or make a few transactions, mobile banking at Liberty Bank allows convenient and secure access to your money. Enroll today at www.libertybank.net and download their mobile app. Mobile bank at Liberty Bank today and keep the power in your hands. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here. FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Are you satisfied with your current financial position? My name is Kenneth Barnes, President and CEO of KB Enterprises, where we specialize in putting together step-by-step financial action steps for your plan for today and for tomorrow. Whether you're 50 to 85 and need assistance with your final expenses, we have coverage options for every situation. Let us put life back into your finances. Call us today at 504-914-1202. That's 504-914-1202.
Gentili Italian Pie is home to the $5 Family Happy Hour. Specials on pizza, wings, and drinks Tuesday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Gentili Italian Pie does fresh for the entire family. Salads, pizza, pasta, wings, and oven-baked sandwiches. Gentili Italian Pie offers lunch and dinner in a new, modern atmosphere surrounded by big screen TVs. Dine in or carry out by calling 504-826-9180. That's 504-826-9180. Relax. Have a drink from the fully stocked bar or beer on tap while your order is made from the freshest ingredients. Gentili Italian Pie, 4706 Paris Avenue, is home where everybody knows your name. So bring the family to Paris and Marabout for the $5 Family Happy Hour, Tuesday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's Gentili Italian Pie. Dine in or carry out. 504-826-9180. That's 504-826-9180. You gotta try the pie. That's the original Italian pie, located at Paris and Mirabeau in Gentilly.
WBOK, real talk for real times.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on The Good Life Friday, and we're here to open your mind. We are here on The Good Life Friday with my big brother, Pastor R.C. Blakes. I am so blessed to have him in the studio with me today. I just want to tell you, you are a wonderful, everybody know, well, I don't want to say everybody. We know that you're wonderful, but the way that you reach people and the way that you're able to touch people's heart is truly a gift. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you do. And just, as I said before, as being a single mother and with my son, thank you for reaching him, because to me that is exactly what The Good Life is all about. We talked about it here during the break about love, tolerance, and understanding, and reaching our children, because when we reach our children, we can change the world. And it's through our children that we're going to do that. And you touch everyone from every age, from elders all the way down, and that is truly a gift by God. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
Now we're going to jump back into the conversation, because we're talking about relationships, and you were talking about where you were and how you were able to turn that around. And so many people are really having that problem. Sometimes you can see what your faults are. And, for me, God gives you the same lesson until you get it. I wanted to be that helper. I wanted to, I can change him. I can help him. If only he got this thing or this job or this step up, it was going to make a difference. No, it doesn't, because I can't change anybody.
You can't change anybody but yourself.
But myself.
And sometimes you can't do that. You got to rely on God to do that for you.
Exactly. So when we're in these seasons of self-reflection, you spoke so eloquently about how you were able to do it. You were talking about that reality of turning it around.
Well, one of the realities, I'm trying to remember exactly where my head was at the time we shut it down, but one of the realities of having to really face yourself and having that season of self-reflection is that you get a chance to deal with your own issues, and you get a chance to put the garbage out, so to speak. And a lot of people right now who are single, who are listening to this, who desire, to be married, or desire, if not married, to have a significant other, are trying to figure out if they are spiritual. They're asking God, well, why has my perfect person not come yet? Sometimes your perfect person has not shown up because you're not ready.
Right. And
you're not using the current time that God has allotted you to prepare yourself, because one of the things that has become very clear to me, especially in relationships and in other aspects of life as well, is that we rarely get what we want, but we always get what we are. We attract what we are. And sometimes,
Sometimes that hurts to know that.
sometimes that hurts to know that.
Yes.
My brother puts it this way. He says, if a woman's always, catching dogs, he said, you may very, very well be a dog catcher. You know what I mean? So you need to
Hello.
make some internal shiftings. For instance, prior to my wife Lisa, I had been married before and divorced. Never had a relationship to work. Never really was faithful to anybody. Just was typical. When I had that time with God where I really had to face myself as an individual, a divorced young man at the time, as an individual, looking at my mistakes, and God dealt with me and cleaned me up, then I attracted
A different kind of
a
woman.
different kind of woman. Why would God send the perfect person to you when you've not perfected yourself?
I had to have a moment on that one. Because so many of us want the perfect person, and we haven't handled what we need to handle.
Our business. We haven't handled our business. And if you're sitting there and you're single and you're miserable, if you've not developed a love affair with yourself, if you don't love you, why would you push you on someone else?
Mm.
If you're not enough to keep you happy, if your company does not make you happy, why would you want to impose this on anyone else? We have to learn. We got to really get back to the self relationship.
So I'm gonna throw something at you.
Sure.
There's so many people who find themselves in relationships or marriages, especially marriages, and they haven't done enough of that work on themselves yet. How do you handle that type of situation where it's not like you can, just leave the person?
No, you can't do that.
So what do you do? Because I know I have listeners out there who are in a marriage, but they're like, they still need to do that level of self-reflection, especially, I believe in a very traditional relationship. So I believe if you're, have an issue with your wife, I think sometimes you need to do the self-reflection and take care of yourself so that you can help take care of your wife. That's just my 2 cents, though.
Absolutely. And I agree with it. And I'll use my own, I'm notorious for transparency about myself. I'll use Lisa and I as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I came from a very traditional upbringing, mom and dad both in the home, really affirmed, loved, and all of that kind of thing. So I don't have a self-esteem issue. I don't have a lot of stuff I need to lie on the couch and have the therapist to work out for me. But my wife comes from a very different background. She comes from a very abusive background, abusive to the point that at age 14, she was on her own.
Oh, wow.
Born in Jamaica, raised in Canada, separated from her mother by an abusive father. 14, she's on her own. Never had a man in her life that was trustworthy, dependable, so forth and so on. And so now she meets me, and God is in the process of molding and shaping and changing me. And so we get married. And going back to your question as it relates to when people are married and a person has not done that self-work, how do you make that dysfunction work functionally within a marriage that is already intact? Well, what we've learned through our process, my process of being her support system, is that it works best when you've not done that self-work, but yet you are in a loving and healthy relationship or marriage with a person. It works best when you, the person who's deficient in some way, are honest about where you are. Mm. It's when you're able to sit down at the table and say, this is who I am, these are my flaws, and this is what I'm struggling with. And then the other person is mature and loving enough to say, I love you anyway. Oh. Let's work through this. You understand what I'm saying? Love conquers all, but love requires great maturity.
What I'm getting from you is that shame will kill the relationship.
Oh, it kills it every time. It kills it every time. I think that's why, when you look in, again, I'm not preaching, but when you go to Genesis in the Bible, for those of you that might read the Bible or whatever, when you go to Genesis, God makes Adam and Eve in this perfect environment. They have the perfect relationship with one another and with God and with their environment. And the Bible says something powerful that is great, that is revelatory to me. It says they were both naked and not ashamed. They were both naked and not ashamed. Meaning, healthy relationships are relationships where you can be totally uncovered. You can be totally transparent. You can put all of your truth, the entirety of it, on the table. And with this individual, never be ashamed. Your soulmate is the person that can see all of you, love every part of it, and you'll never be ashamed.
I just had a moment right here on the air.
Yeah.
When you have that and when you feel that, it's such a different level of relationship that you can't even explain it to anyone else.
No.
And it's not for anyone else's understanding, is it?
It is not. It is not. It is a unique bond between the two individuals. Lisa Blakes knows everything about me. Nobody else in the world knows everything about me. There are parts of me, as transparent as I am, there are parts of me that I'm just not going to share with the world.
Right.
I'm not very proud of it. You know what I mean? Lisa Blakes knows every part of me. I know every part of Lisa Blakes. And shame is never a factor. So we create a system of therapeutic love. I guess I'm creating a terminology.
Right here on The Good Life, y'all heard it, therapeutic love.
A system of therapeutic love within our marriage that the healing process, the development and the growth comes through the freedom to be honest, to be totally honest, and to bear all before one another.
Do you find that a lot of couples are able to do that?
No, because just like in the church, we've been socialized to create these facades. Like you hear pastors stand and they'll say, I'm perfect, I've never done this, and that's a lie. They're lying while they're saying that. Pastors are not deities. They are men. They are women who have flaws and who have been commissioned to teach or preach a perfect gospel that they themselves have to be impacted by. That same kind of hypocrisy breeds into our relationships where, the wife doesn't want her husband to see her in the morning before she puts her makeup on. Come on now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, we want to create these facades for one another. So there's not a lot of, and that's really the toxin of most relationships, I believe, is that the inability and the discomfort with really bearing your real truth. If it's not in something as close as, that's the closest human relationship you can have, really, is a marriage. Even your relationship with your child, that's a relationship that's moving away. As they get older, they move away from you. But your spouse is one that as you get older, you grow closer and closer. If there's no capacity within that relationship to be totally honest, what is the future of it? What is the future of it? If I have to be the superhero, I don't know how far I can go on this show, but
oh, you can go.
I'm 50. I'll be 52 years old in July.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, I will.
All right.
And so, things aren't what they were 20 years ago when we got married in terms of the vitality and all of that. I hear a lot of guys my age talking about, I'm as strong now as I was when I was 25. That's a lie. But
that goes both ways.
Does it?
I don't know. I'm 37, so I don't know.
You can't speak on these things as
I can't speak on anything right now.
So my having the freedom in our relationship for me to say, hey babe, I don't have the energy for all this right now. And she laughed and it's good. That's the strength of our bond.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's really the strength of our bond. As my wife gets older, and you know how women are about your looks and your appearance, and when things begin to change, and she looks back on pictures and she says, I don't look the same anymore, and she feels free to say that, knowing that I'm not going to, I'm not judgmental of that. It does not diminish my love or attraction for her. In fact, I'm more attracted to her now than I've ever been. There's something very, very beautiful and unique about growing in a genuine loving relationship, growing older with a person in a genuine loving relationship that really brings about an attraction that creates what's the word I'm looking for? I can't pull a word up.
You can make one up.
Yeah, I can make one up. It creates a companionship. That's the word. See, when you're young, it's all about romance and sex. But when you get to a certain level where you have some history, where you've been through some battles together, where you've grown together, where you know one another's entire truth, where if you could destroy one another, it creates a companionship, and companionship becomes more important to you than anything at a certain phase in a relationship.
That's the type of love. That's it. Companionship. Open your mind to living differently in the world. We are in the studio today with Pastor R.C. Blakes of New Home Family Ministries Baptist Church. If you don't know where he is, how can they follow you?
They can follow me on Facebook, R.C. Blakes, on Periscope. If you haven't heard about Periscope, download it. It's my favorite social media. Oh,
yes, please. That's how I watched the Mass last night. That's how I watched the service last night. RC_Blakes, Twitter, RC_Blakes, website, RCBlakes.com. And I will put all of his information on my social media websites as well, so make sure you follow us. We'll be back. We're going to break down the Manhood Academy, the swim conference, awesome. The father-daughter talk. We're going to break it all down. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back. Security keeps our family, friends, and event goers safe. And to do that job, they are looking for you. L&R Security Services is now hiring persons for the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, armed and unarmed guards. All interested persons should contact L&R Security Office at 504-943-3191. Fill out an application at L&R's office at 3930 Old Gentilly Road. That's New Orleans, Louisiana. To become one of the proud workers of L&R Security, the minimum requirements are 18 years of age, a completed work application, and criminal background check, 2 forms of ID, whether it be a driver's license, a state ID, military ID, social security card, or other forms of picture ID. L&R Security is looking for qualified employees to assist in keeping the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival safe. They are looking for you. Again, contact them at 504-943-3191. 504-943-3191. L&R is always looking for armed and unarmed guards. If this is your profession, they're looking for you.
Greetings, loyal listeners. I get a lot of callers seeking relationship advice. My advice? Go to AT&T. For a limited time when you buy one of their most popular smartphones, you get one free when you buy both on AT&T Next. Healthy relationships come from having things in common. Matching smartphones is a great start. AT&T, mobilizing your world.
For BOGO, buy select devices at regular price with eligible service and well-qualified credit. Free one requires a new line with 30-month 0% APR contract with up to $21.67 a month payments. Get up to $650 in 30-bill credit starting in 3 bills. Tax due at sale. If service canceled on one, that device balance due. Charges and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
Looking for that perfect gift for a birthday, an anniversary, or how about just to brighten someone's day? Mona's Accents is your one-stop shop for beautiful floral arrangements that are indeed perfect for any special occasion. Dedicated to quality, freshness, and customer satisfaction, Mona's Accents will surely take care of all of your floral needs. So stop by the shop located at 2109 North Claiborne Avenue or call us at 504-944-7001 and let us arrange and deliver your floral gifts. Again, that's 504-944-7001. Or you can order online at www.monasaccents.com. Mona's Accents. Freshness, quality, and customer satisfaction guaranteed.
Hey, it's Graylin Banks, host of The Grapevine on WBOK 1230 AM. And I'm here to tell you about mobile banking at Liberty Bank and Trust Company. You're always on the move, and they're here to keep you up and give you the power to manage your own money from the palm of your hand. If you need to check balances, transfer money, or make a few transactions, mobile banking at Liberty allows you convenient and secure access to your money. Enroll today at www.libertybank.net and download their mobile app. Mobile Bank at Liberty Bank today and keep the power in your hands. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here. FDIC and equal housing lender.
Listen to WBOK 1230 AM anywhere in the world. Live at www.WBOK1230am.com. WBOK 1230 AM, talk radio in New Orleans.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on The Good Life Friday, and we're here to open your mind. We are here on The Good Life Friday, and we are here to open your mind to live with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding. And we have Pastor R.C. Blakes with us in here this morning. I'm so blessed to have him in here. He is my big brother, and I'm sure he is a big brother to all of you out there because he reaches our minds, our hearts, and our souls. So thank you so much again for exactly what you do. And you are a very, very busy man.
Ooh, I asked for this. You know, sometimes you pray for things, and then when they really arrive,
yes,
you wonder, what were you thinking?
Well, you do it, with amazing grace. So I want to thank you for everything that you do. I'm so excited. And I know we alluded to the Manhood Academy a little bit earlier in the show. So I want you to explain exactly what that is and what's going on, because I know it doesn't just happen here. It happens in other places as well, correct?
Well, it's something that I'm going to bring nationally, actually, but I wanted to start it here. The Manhood Academy is really a call for a return to classical manhood. You know, we're talking about relationships today.
Yes.
But in the beginning, the Bible comes out of me because I'm a preacher. In the beginning, when relationship, the first man-female relationship started, it began with the development of the man. Adam was a whole and complete man in every respect. And then God said, it's not good for you to be alone. He brought Eve. So the Manhood Academy is a return. It is an introduction to this generation of classical manhood, because this generation has not been introduced to classical manhood, which is what? A man that considers himself to be the provider, the protector, the guider, and all of these kinds of things. This generation of men have no clue. They're looking for women that can take care of them, enable them. They are abusers of women. When they are great providers, they want to strangle the woman's capacity and potential. They don't want her to self-actualize. And it's all because they've not had real fathers to teach them what manhood is from the aspect or from the perspective of being a father or being a husband, being a father, being a leader in the community. So the Manhood Academy is my answer to this generation's major issue of a lack of manhood. This is a generation, in my opinion, of feminized men. And when I use that phraseology, I'm not in reference to any sexual orientation, but rather the mental framework of men that would rather fulfill the traditional roles of a woman as opposed to fulfilling the traditional roles of a husband. They don't want to provide. They don't want to respect. They don't want to cover the wife, cover the children. So I believe that I've lived it. I've been raised by a man. I think I'm a pretty decent example of what a man should be and could be.
I think I'll second that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm sure Lisa's like, she's firsting that.
Yes, I'm sure she is. And so I want to just really have this conversation. See, ministry for me is not preaching. It's not always teaching either. It's more conversational. I want to have this conversation with the men of this generation and the older men who are able to say amen to what I'm saying. And hopefully we can have some kind of an impact on the way a 12-year-old boy thinks
Yes.
about what it means to grow into manhood.
Yes.
And not get his philosophy about manhood from music videos or movies or what have you.
Absolutely. And, you know, I am a single mother, and his father is in his life, and I'm blessed that my father is in his life. But, in my opinion, a man is raised by seeing men, and knowing, and he sees that in you, and he appreciates that, and he respects that. And to see that glimmer, turn on in his eye, I was like, yes. And so when he wanted to go to the Manhood Academy, I was like, we're going together.
Wow.
So we're going to go. And so if there's somebody listening out there that wants to join the Manhood Academy, it's April 19th through the 21st. That is this week, y'all. So tell us how they can become a part of this.
It's not hard. Just come to New Home Family Worship Center, 1616 Robert C. Blake Sr. Drive, formerly Carondelet. That part of the street has been renamed. Or they can go to my website, rcblakes.com, go under events, and register for free.
You said for free?
For free.
Okay.
Absolutely. I ask people to register because, we're going to give away a lot of great things. We're trying to give away 50-inch television, flat screen to the guy that is registered and has the most young men with him. Giving away a lot of things, but it's only going to be for people who are registered. And then I want to capture the info because I want this to be ongoing. I want to even develop from this thing. I want to bring some professional young brothers together and create some kind of forum where we can actually take kids, young men, and bring them through a rites of passage into manhood. I just, I want to do whatever I can do to impact, to create solutions. So often we complain about our young men are not this and our young people are not that, and the church is really not providing anything to improve it. We're not teaching, we're not training, we're going through all these empty rituals. So that's my answer to a major issue in today's society, the Manhood Academy.
So is there an age range or just?
No. Actually, I was contemplating having separate sessions for younger men, but I'm going to actually bring all of the kids. There's no age range.
Because at 12 years old, you've been.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, you're clear, and that's the time where your eyes are opening, you're starting to see the world from a different perspective.
Absolutely.
That's why I was like, this is a perfect time for my son. So if you have a son, a cousin, a young man, this isn't just for, teenagers, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 70s. Everybody can get something from this.
Everybody can get something from this. And in this Manhood Academy, we're talking about the man and his sexuality. Mm-hmm. I want young men to understand where that insatiable desire for the female body comes from, and how do you handle that? How do you calm that? How do you not turn into a womanizer, an emotional abuser, sexual abuser of women? I want to take and teach all of the lessons that I've learned through experience. I want to relay them through instruction. We're going to talk about the man and his sexuality, the man and his relationships, defining what does it mean to be somebody's boyfriend even. What does it mean to be a husband? What does it mean to be a father? What are your responsibilities? And then I want to talk about the man and his money. Money's not for filling your mouth up with gold teeth and diamonds in each tooth and 5, 6 different rings and nothing in the bank, rims, and don't even have a garage to park it in. That's the kind of stuff I want to deal with.
Changing their perspective on life.
Changing perspective and helping them to see life from a realistic and healthy and progressive perspective. It's going to be a conversation.
And it's not just for the men, it's for the ladies as well, right?
Well, I always say, if you can come to church and complain about how your man is not doing this or that, you ought to be there with him when somebody's teaching him what to do. So the women are invited. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. At 6 o'clock, I've invited a guest speaker who's also a best-selling author, Dr. Barnes from Oakland, California.
Wow.
Who's written the book, How to Successfully Raise Young Black Men. I've invited him in to have a 50-minute session prior to with all people, but especially for single mothers of young black boys.
I will be there at 6 o'clock on the dot.
Yeah, he's
actually
written
5:50.
He's written a book, and it's changing lives. So he's going to be our lecturer every evening at 6 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, and then I'll come in at 7 and I'll do my piece, and then we'll be gone. It's going to be timely.
So make sure you meet me at 1616
Robert C. Blake Senior Drive.
That was a long, but I'm so excited about the name change. Make sure you meet me at 6 o'clock for
Dr. Barnes, who will be doing the session on how to successfully raise young black boys.
And so that is the Manhood Academy. You also have an event coming up this summer. It's called the Swim Conference, because you make sure that everyone is covered. So tell us a little bit about the Swim Conference and exactly what that is.
The Swim Conference is going to happen in the city of New Orleans, at our East New Orleans location. Most of the sessions will be there. SWIM stands for Sisters Winning in Ministry. I'm a big proponent of women in ministry and activating women, supporting women to go forth in all areas of life. I believe that even in the church, male chauvinism has kind of muzzled the mouths of very gifted and anointed and prolific teachers who are women. So this is my way of opening the door and creating a platform for women to come together from all over the country, and they are registering from all over the country for this thing. They're coming from everywhere.
I know. Bobby was telling me about it from the ATL, so I know. So y'all better get your tickets. How can they do that?
They can go to swimconference.org, swimconference.org, and they can register there. And I'm often asked, well, is this for women that preach? This is for women in all aspects of Christianity or ministry. Maybe you're just searching, trying to figure out where do I fit in. You know, it's for all women that have any inkling that they want to dedicate their lives to some purpose that serves the objectives of God.
And so when is this?
This is July the 20th through the 23rd, right here in the city of New Orleans.
So can you tell us who will be there?
I'm going to be the main speaker.
Well, then that's enough. Y'all better go just because he's going to be the main speaker.
But there is more. We have a dear heart who's very popular. In fact, she was on Preachers of Atlanta.
Oh, really?
Real Talk Kim is from Atlanta. She's going to be one of our speakers that Thursday night, I think it is. Dr. G, who is local, she's a money guru. She's going to be there conducting a session, teaching women how to get their money together. Dr. Ballard, who is also local, he's going to be there teaching the science and art of preaching, how to develop sermons. Many women in churches, and they consider themselves preachers, and no one's ever sat them down to teach them how to actually develop a message. I'm excited.
Well, that'd be good for me on the radio.
Absolutely. It would be. My wife is
I'll be there.
You better be there. My wife will be there, and she's going to conduct this session. I forget the exact title of it, but the gist of it is turning your pain into power, turning your pain into your power. She's going to talk about how, as a child, she was sexually abused, how she was on her own at 14 years old, and how she survived all of that to grow up and to become an RN, to become the wife of a great man, and to do powerful things all across the country. So you see her now, you would never know she came from what she came from or through. So she's going to deal with women on that wise in terms of.
And there's so many of us that really need to hear that.
Yeah.
Because we walk around with that scarlet A on our forehead, and nobody knows what it took us to get to where we are today.
Pretty fingernails, dirty secrets. You know, you try to dress up the pain with the makeup, and beneath all of those layers of beauty, there's a woman that is broken. So that's the purpose of that session. And then for those women that are, a little more spiritual or prophetic, we call it. There's one of my daughters who's also a medical doctor, but she's also a prophetess. And she's going to conduct this class entitled School of the Prophetess, and, kind of teach women what's going on with you relative to all of these spiritual visions and dreams and inclinations you have, and that you're not crazy, and how to kind of bring all of that into perspective. And then I'm going to be there, obviously, doing my piece, and I'm going to also conduct some sessions relative to the father-daughter talk to bring healing to the little girl inside of women that still has questions she needs to ask of her father.
Wow. And there's so many of them out there.
Yeah.
And you all don't just have to wait for these special events and these conferences to be able to get these type of messages from Pastor R.C. Blakes. He is in New Orleans, 7:30 at 1616
Robert C. Blake Senior Drive. Don't
there
get
you
it
go.
wrong.
I know. I wasn't going to say drive. I was going to say something else. You can every 7:30 every Sunday. So make sure that you go visit the church, just visit. Just drop in and visit. And if it seems like it's a great place for you, I'm sure if your heart brings you there, you will feel the Spirit in there and you'll want to stay, because that's exactly what happened to me.
And I am honored.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And one more time, what's your website so people can get all of this information?
RCBlakes.com is my website. Swimconference.org is the place to register for swim. And thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for being here. You're an inspiration to everyone that listens. And I just want to thank you personally for being an inspiration to my son, Aiden.
I love that young man. Yeah, I haven't even really had a chance to have a real conversation with him, but I love him. I love his spirit. So, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here, y'all. This is The Good Life. It's The Good Life Friday. Open your mind, a little bit more love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding. We can change the world. Thank you. We're out.